Hello guys, how are you doing? In today's video, we are going to learn about something new and interesting. Yes, today we are talking about graphical representation of motion. Now I'm sure all of you are familiar with the concept of graphs, right? You've learned about it extensively in this standard as well as the previous one. Graphs are powerful tools that help us present information or present data in a meaningful way. Now, we see graphs all the time in newspapers, magazines, televisions, etc. And at each of these places, they show some meaningful information. Now, data in its raw form is usually present in a table. But once we take it from there and display it in the graphical form, suddenly they are not numbers anymore. Graphs are much more descriptive and show a definite trend that tabulated data does not. So in short, I'm trying to say that graphs are awesome. So guys, in today's video and in the upcoming ones, we will learn how to use graphs to describe the motion of an object. More specifically, we will use line graphs that show the dependence of quantities like distance, displacement, and velocity on a quantity like time. So without wasting a second, let's jump right into distance-time graphs. So guys, as its name suggests, a distance-time graph shows the dependence of distance on time. Now because distance here is a dependent quantity, we plot it along the y-axis. And because time is an independent quantity, we always plot it along the x-axis. Now, let's plot a simple distance-time graph by taking an example and understand what set of information we can obtain from one such graph. So guys, as you can see, we have a table over here that shows the distance covered by the car at different instances of time. So at 10 o'clock, the car is at 0 kilometers, which means the car just begins moving at that time. At 10:20, the car has covered 50 kilometers of distance. At 10:40, the car has covered 100 kilometers. At 11 o'clock, the car has covered 150 kilometers, and so on. So if I plot a distance time graph by mentioning the distance values along the y-axis and the time values along the x-axis, the graph would look something like this. And as you can see, we've got a beautiful straight line plot over here. The scale that I've chosen along the y-axis is 1 unit is equal to 50 kilometers, and the scale that I've chosen along the x-axis is 1 unit is equal to 20 minutes. Now the first thing that I can infer from this graph is that this car is undergoing a uniform motion. Now how did I say that? Well, if you carefully see, this car covers 50 kilometers distance every 20 minutes of time interval. So basically this car is covering equal distances in equal intervals of time. Now that's uniform motion. Now this also tells us that whenever we draw a distance time graph for an object undergoing uniform motion, we always get a straight line plot. Keep that in mind, guys. Now what else do you think can we calculate from this graph? Well, it turns out we can also calculate the value of speed of our moving object. To do that, I'm going to choose two arbitrary points A and B on my straight line plot that represents t1, s1 and t2, s2 respectively. Now s1 is the distance covered at time equal to t1 and s2 is the distance covered by the car at time equal to t2. I've chosen these variables just to calculate the formula, so don't worry about it. Now if I extend the line parallel to the x-axis at point A, you can see that it intersects the line parallel to y-axis from point B. So let me call this intersection point point C. And once I do that, you can see we've got a nice little right triangle over here, which is triangle ABC. The base of this right triangle is nothing but t2 minus t1, that represents change in time, and the height of this triangle is s2 minus s1, which represents the change in distance. Now if I take the ratio of these two quantities, I essentially obtain change in distance divided by change in time is equal to s2 minus s1 divided by t2 minus t1. Now what does change in distance divided by change in time represent, guys? Well, it represents nothing but speed. So I essentially get speed is equal to s2 minus s1 divided by t2 minus t1. So you can take this as a general formula to calculate speed from any distance time graph. So I want you to use this formula and get me the speed of our moving car in this example. Your time starts now. So, are you done? Well, I'm sure you are. The right answer for the speed of this car is 150 kilometers per hour. But how do we get it? Well, as I said, you can choose any 2 points on the straight line as A and B and then use this formula over here to calculate the value of speed. So I personally have chosen this as point A and over here as point B. Point A represents 1040 hours, 100 kilometers, and point B represents 1120 hours, 200 kilometers. So the value of S2 minus S1 clearly comes out to be 100 kilometers over here, and the value of T2 minus T1 comes out to be 40 minutes. So if I have to get the value of speed, that comes out to be 100 kilometers divided by 40 minutes. But hey, if I solve this fraction, I'll get the value of speed in kilometers per minute. So let me convert minutes into hours to get my final answer for speed in terms of kilometers per hour. So to do that, I'll divide 40 by 60 and my expression or my fraction would change to 100 kilometers divided by 40 upon 60 hours. Now that comes out to be ultimately 100 times 60 divided by 40 or 150 kilometers per hour. That's the answer for the speed of this car, guys. Now at this point, I want to talk about a new concept called the slope of a straight line. In mathematics, slope of a straight line essentially tells us about the steepness or the inclination of that line. So if a line inclines more towards the y-axis, it appears visibly steeper. Therefore, we say that such lines have a high slope. On the other hand, if a line inclines more towards the x-axis, it looks visibly flatter. Therefore, we say that such lines have low slopes. Now, for a general straight line plot, we calculate the value of slope using the formula slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. However, when the graph is a distance time graph, this formula transforms to slope is equal to s2 minus s1 divided by t2 minus t1, as you can see over here. Now, what's interesting is that the formula for slope and the formula for speed in a distance time graph is exactly the same. So from here we can say that slope of the straight line in a distance time graph gives us the value of speed. It's a fascinating result and you must remember it. Now some of you might be wondering, what's so fascinating about this result? Well, you would know in a moment if you solve this problem over here. So the problem asks you to compare the speeds of 3 cars A, B and C whose distance time graph looks like this. I want you to take a moment and try getting an answer to this question. Okay, time's up guys. The right order for the speed of these 3 cars is speed of car B is more than speed of car A, which in turn is more than speed of car C. Let's go ahead and see how we get it. So in this distance time graph, you can clearly see that the slope of the line that represents the motion of car B is the highest, followed by the slope of the line that represents car A's motion. And ultimately, the slope of the line that represents car C's motion is the least because that line is completely flat. Now, because in a distance time graph, the slope of a straight line is exactly equal to the speed, we can say that the same trend would be true for the speed of these 3 cars as well. So from there we can directly say that speed of car B would be more than speed of car A, and that in turn would be more than speed of car C. That's our answer right there. But before moving on, I want you to pay attention to the plot that represents the motion of car C over here, which is nothing but a straight line parallel to the x-axis, completely flat straight line. Now what do you think does a straight line parallel to the x-axis in a distance time graph represent? Well, if you really think about it, it's very easy to understand. You see, as the time passes, the value of distance is not changing for car C. What does that mean? Well, it simply means that car C is at rest. So remember guys, whenever you spot a straight line parallel to the x-axis on a distance time graph, it simply means that the object is at rest and it's not covering any distance as the time is passing by. At the same time, you must also realize that because speed of the object is 0, the slope of the straight line is also 0 over here. So we can say that whenever a line is completely flat or whenever a line is parallel to the x-axis, its slope is 0. Keep these points in mind. So guys, by now we have talked about the distance time graphs of those objects that move uniformly or at constant speeds. But how do you think the plot would change if we have an object moving non-uniformly or at variable speeds? Well, for that, I have got some data in this tabular form for a car moving non-uniformly. The distance covered and the time taken values are given over here. I want you to go ahead and plot a distance time graph using this data. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up guys. The correct distance time graph for this car looks something like this. Now the scale that I've chosen here along the y-axis is 1 unit is equal to 5 meters, and along the x-axis is 1 unit is equal to 2 seconds. Now clearly you can see this is not a straight line. Now that's because the car is covering larger and larger distances as the time increases. As you can see, in the first 2 seconds, the car covers only 1 meter of distance. But in the next 2 seconds, the car covers 4 meters of distance. And in the 2 seconds following that, the car covers 9 meters of distance. So in equal intervals, the car is covering larger and larger distances. So clearly, this is a case of non-linear variation of distance with time. And that's exactly why we have got a non-linear graph over here. And with that guys, let's end this video today. I hope you had a good time learning about distance time graphs. In the next video, we'll talk about displacement time graphs in more detail. For now, let's summarize whatever we have learned so far in this video. In a distance time graph, we see the dependence of distance on time. Therefore, distance becomes the dependent variable and time becomes the independent variable. In a distance time graph, we represent distance along the y-axis while we represent time along the x-axis by convention. For an object undergoing uniform motion, its distance time graph is always a straight line. For an object undergoing non-uniform motion, its distance time graph is never a straight line. The slope of a straight line gives us the measure of its steepness. In a distance time graph, the speed of the moving object is equal to the slope of the straight line. A straight line parallel to the x-axis in a distance time graph shows an object at rest. The slope of a straight line parallel to the x-axis is always 0.